Star Wars Tabletop Gaming is proudly supported by Gatekeeper Games, your key to gaming unplugged. A tabletop games store offering a friendly atmosphere for people to buy and play their games in the north of Fitzroy.
Welcome to episode 22 of Star Wars Tabletop Gaming. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I have Owen here.
Hello!
From Hell of a Pilot podcast. He's come to chat about Legion. You're looking at getting into Legion?
I am looking at getting into Legion. I think I've spoken about it a couple times on the podcast, but Mike and I are definitely getting into it. I've decided, I'm going Rebels.
You're dragging him in?
I'm dragging him in.
Excellent.
I'll drag him by the hair. He doesn't have any hair, but I'll drag... Anyway.
Grab something. There's got to be hair somewhere.
I'll grab something.
Tell us a little about your podcast.
Well, we're an X-Wing podcast based in Melbourne, but we're also like a meme page, and
I was looking at a lot of your memes.
Yeah.
I did enjoy myself.
Lockie is a meme king. He really, really is. We also do skits. We have a YouTube channel, a Facebook, and our podcast, which I think we're up to roughly 1,000. It's really hard to find like numbers. But we have like about 1,000 downloads per episode, which is really good.
That's really good. Yeah, I was doing a bit of a gaming review podcast for a while, and we were hitting like 150, and we started wasting our time. It's a limited audience, I guess, with podcasts.
It really, really is. And a limited audience, and then also you limit it further with you just being an X-Wing podcast. But and there's so many X-Wing podcasts out there.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Whereas Legion, the content is minimal.
It is.
I'm kind of the only YouTube channel dedicated to it at the moment,
Yes.
which is convenient.
Yes.
But a Legion podcast.
Which is actually why how I got this happening.
How convenient. That's it. Owen contacted me and he's like, let's chat some Legion. I'm like, we can do that. We can definitely do that. So the way this is going to work is we're going to have Owen's got a bunch of questions, I have a bunch of questions. We're going to go backwards and forwards and essentially just chat about everything Legion and kind of look, focusing on X-Wing over to Legion and what that transition, I guess, will look like and that kind of stuff. So I guess I'll kick off.
You will.
So tell me, what intrigues you about Legion?
Well, I've always wanted to get into 40k, but the cost of it was a bit silly. It is a bit silly.
It's a bit ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah.
And I always really liked the idea of space combat and like cover and all this. But didn't really have a system for it, and any system that I did find that I kind of like the look of, the player base wasn't massive. Yeah. But I know that FFG, they make some really great games. Like X-Wing is a fantastic game.
Their rule sets are just super tight.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort into it, and they don't release anything terrible, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get into that, and then I found out the cost of it, of the entrance cost. I was like, that's actually doable.
Super reasonable.
So I'm going to do that then.
Fantastic. That sounds like an excellent plan. All right. Your question.
My question. Why should you invest in Legion?
Definitely why should you invest in Legion. All right. So there's 3 points I want to talk about here. The first is kind of iconic characters. It's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Do you love Star Wars?
I like Star Wars.
Everyone likes Star Wars.
I really like Star Wars.
So, as you see here, a few little Star Wars miniatures. These are Rhett's Imperial Assault miniatures. I don't have my hands on Legion yet. It's out there, but I just can't get my hands on it. But I mean, here we have Darth Vader. He was probably one of the most iconic sci-fi characters ever. Can you think of one that's more iconic? Luke? That's it. That may be the only competitor. And the thing is that there's not actually a game out at the moment where you get to be Darth Vader in a table realistic setting. I mean, you've got X-Wing, and he's a pilot in a ship, but I mean, that's a little card.
There was a while ago, there was Wizards of the Coast did a miniatures game, but I don't think it took off.
No, it didn't. And the miniatures aren't fantastic, and the rule system was absolutely trash. So there's no good, let me rephrase, there's no good game where you can just be Darth Vader. I mean, so there's Imperial Assault, obviously, because he's Imperial Assault.
Yeah.
But it's not, you're not playing the actual battles of Star Wars. You're not having armies clashing. It's a skirmish game. So I think you should invest so that you can recreate your Star Wars the way you want it on the table, in a way that it's never really been recreated to such a great kind of a great system. So that's my thoughts on that. The other reason is that they are the best Star Wars miniatures. So we have here Imperial Assault, and they're alright. They're kind of pretty, especially painted up as well as Rat has painted them here.
He's good.
He's done all right. So, and then you've got the Wizards of the Coast, which are a bit iffy, and you've got a few different things, but nothing compares to what we're seeing with Legion. Just the bulk of them, and we were talking about this just before, and we're talking about the scale of them. So, to give you a little idea, right here, we have kind of Let's pick a regular Stormtrooper guy. Yeah, there you go. So just the bulk. So here we've got Primaris Marine, which is that 32mm scale, compared to a Snowtrooper, who's your 28mm scale. And they're big, they're beefy, they're nice to paint, they're nice to play with,
and they're easier to paint.
Much easier.
Yeah.
Have you done much painting before?
I have done a little bit of painting. I did Kings of War, so all the miniatures, you can choose whatever you want. And I've always found that like bigger miniatures, you can actually get more detail on bigger miniatures, and it's more noticeable.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, that's what I think.
Yeah, definitely. So the best Star Wars miniatures we've ever had, and you're going to get to play them in the games that you want to play. So thirdly is the way FFG do rules and organised play, which of course you know all about. The tournament setting. Talk to me about FFG tournaments.
FFG tournaments are normally, they're really well structured, and how they do is every roughly quarter. Sometimes they're a bit funny and they add extra ones in, but with like store champs and stuff. But we'll go with the quarterly ones. They release every time you come to a tournament. You pay your entrance fee, which you would pay for any tournament anyway, and no matter what happens, you're going to come out with something, and often with like alt art cards. And alt art cards, they're really cool.
I love my alt art
They
cards.
really are
I go
cool.
deep in. I've got like at least 3 pages in my Destiny folders of just alt art cards that I've got at tournaments.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and tokens.
And tokens.
The tokens.
Tokens, and when you go further up, what happens with there's alt art cards. They give you multiple alt art cards, but when you get further up into the higher levels, like store champions and regional champions, they also give you like templates and championship titles, even like a trophy.
Trophies are good. Yeah, playmats for Destiny.
Really?
Yeah, the playmats are beautiful. I've got myself a nice Phasma playmat from the store championship season, which is nice. So that's the other reason is the tight rules, because FG do rules like nobody else does, in that they're so hard to find fault in. I remember we're up to 8th edition in 40k now, and there's just so many issues with it, as there have been with all of the 8 other editions. So with Star Wars Legion, we're going to get one rule set. It's going to stay. Those are going to be the rules forever. When FFG want to change them, they will change them, but it'll be online, and you won't have to buy a book again.
Yeah. I don't like the fact you had to pay $60 for just to play the miniatures you own.
It's pretty ridiculous.
That was a bit silly.
And of course, then with 40k, you've got all the codexes, you've got all the supplements. Like, you're paying more money for the books sometimes than you are for the miniatures. So the way FFG releases their rules and the way they write their rules is just so much nicer. And I think the rule set that we're getting for Legion is kind of the epitome of a tabletop game of just different things. Bit of X-Wing, bit of Dust, bit of Bolt Action, bit of 40k, bit of just everything kind of combined to be a really nice interactive rule system. You look deep into the rules?
I have. I'm still a little bit confused with suppression and exactly when suppression kicks in, but we will get to that.
Yeah, well, I learned something extra about suppression with the Beast of War guys when they were playing it, is that when a unit activates, it rolls a dice, and if it gets a hit, I'm not sure if it's always a right dice or it depends on your defense, still things we don't know, but you have a chance to get rid of that suppression. So there's a lot of interaction between getting it and getting rid of it.
And we don't have the rules at the moment, so there's a lot of questions about like how many suppressions you need to actually make a unit panic. Is it the one that's on the card? Is it how many troops there are?
No, it's been confirmed.
Has it?
It's the courage, and it needs to be more than double. So with a troop unit, it needs to have 3 suppression tokens to panic it.
More than double, okay.
And with Luke, it'd have to be 7 suppression tokens to panic him.
Right.
So he's not going anywhere fast. But there is also an action you can take, we believe, to get rid of your suppression tokens.
All of them?
Yeah. So it's going to be very interactive, and there's going to be definitely ways to get rid of it, but it's still going to have a big impact on the game.
Yes.
So, which I think is good.
Especially with guns out there that can add extra suppression.
Yeah,
like
the mortars, which I think is like, I don't know, maybe one of these weapons on the ATSD. Yeah, just mortaring. But speaking of them, also you can't put 3 mortars on it.
I know, and I was so worried about that.
Yeah.
I think I posted something about what happens if you just have 2 ATSDs all covered in mortars, and then you just launch everything at a bunch of different targets, and they all just run off the board turn 1.
Yeah.
You win.
It'd suck. And that's the kind of stuff you'd see in 40k.
Yes.
Just cheese, pushed, win at all costs to the limit, and Legion are being super careful to make sure that can't happen.
Yeah.
So, those are the 3 reasons. That is the iconic characters and the conflicts you can play how you want to play them in the Star Wars universe, the miniatures, which are going to be fantastic, and the tight rule set and organised play is why you should invest in Legion. Are you convinced?
I am.
I think you're convinced.
Yeah. I was sold at the word Legion.
Excellent. Alright, over to you, good sir.
Excellent.
Oh, no, yeah, my question. I get to ask it. Cool. What mechanics and skill... I mean, you could just read it.
I could.
You don't have to make me talk here.
What mechanics and skills can you see crossing over from X-Wing? Well, we've already seen the templates, and I really like that. I'm a big fan of, you know, the pre. It's mostly just the templates and the upgrade cards that have been crossing over because it is such a free-form combat system.
Yep.
And I really like.
And the dice.
And
Gotta
the
have
dice.
your custom dice.
The custom dice, of course. The 8-sided dice, and you know you can't replicate them. You're not allowed to. I tried. Anyway, so I really like the idea of, you know, the front arcs and the rear arcs, and you know you place your template with inside your front arc, and then you move that direction. It's been confirmed that you can't move more than a 90-degree angle, which is cool. And also with certain ships, ships. Hear me. Certain miniatures, they must move.
Yep.
I really like that.
I really like that as well.
It's very clever. It's like the speeder bikes. You can't stop speeder bike. And just like in X-Wing, if you have put yourself in a really bad position, you will pay for it.
Yep.
You know, if you put yourself in a position where you're going over a rock, you're gonna pay for it. And in this situation, if you put yourself in a bad position and you can't complete that maneuver, you take 3 damage.
Yep.
And for that, a speeder bike, done.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Is that the rules? Have we got the rules
3.
for that, have we?
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent. They've done it so it perfectly lines up with speed bikes.
For speed bikes.
Yes.
Because
Good.
I was thinking the very first time I saw a playthrough of that, he put it in a position of like you would just go straight through that tree.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's got to be some punishment. And they confirmed later it's immediate 3 damage, and that's a dead speeder bike, and I love that. I really love that.
That's fantastic. Because of course, speed bikes crashing into trees.
Oh, it's iconic.
It's about 50% of Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
Or at least episode 6 is just speed bikes crashing into things.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
great.
lovely. I want to make a table with these houses actually, where the middle of it is kind of some canyons and whatnot, and putting speeder bikes throughout. It's just gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, literally when they explode. That's what I did there. Yeah. Excellent. I also really enjoy the templates and the idea of it because it rewards good play.
Yeah.
And thinking ahead and being skilled, I guess. Anything that means a skilled player is going to win over an unskilled player, kind of is what I like in a game. So.
You don't buy your way to victory.
Yeah, talk to us about X-Wing cards though, because a lot of people at home, and I was actually I will do an episode just on this, are a little worried that we're going to have the X-Wing factor of you need to buy 3 things you don't want just to get enough.
Yeah, I've been going over this in my head a few times, and I've thought to myself, no, they won't do that because people don't like it. But then I'm also thinking to myself, they're gonna do it because they're gonna do it. But I think they might be a bit more careful about it. And anything that is released for the Imperials that can be used for Rebels will also be released with Rebels. The impact grenades is one of them. You can't get impact grenades in the core set. You can only get them in the upgrade for the expansions.
Yeah.
So if it was only coming in the Stormtrooper pack, I was really disappointed. Then they released what was going to come into the was in the Rebel Trooper one, and they've confirmed that is also there. So they might be a little bit less picky. They might say, if let's say I want to go 100% Rebels, and I'm not touching Imperials, which I'm not. It will be more forgiving because the price cost is a lot higher. I think it's something like $16 for an X-Wing ship. It's a small X-Wing ship. The cheapest you're going to buy this is Australian. The cheapest you're going to buy a expansion kit is about $40.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are going to be happy with spending $40 to get a card.
To get a card. Saying that, my epitome of X-Wing goodness with the cards was the Rebel Transport with C-3PO. And C-3PO was going for like $60 or something ridiculous.
But then, I will give it to them that they made that an alt art card that they gave to everyone pretty soon after that came out.
Yeah,
I have like 6 of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, I bet people who bought it for $60 were really feeling like dicks, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And we will see that because it's not like the special weapons, of course, are represented by miniatures in the box. So they're never going to be a crossover. So it's just going to be things like grenades and bits of tech. So I dare say those alt art cards are going to be really focusing on that to also alleviate this issue.
Yeah.
But what I've seen is that the pieces of tech and grenades that we're seeing aren't game breaking. They're not really. Their impact is so minimal that I don't think people are going to be like, I have to buy these 3 Rebel expansions because all my units need impact grenades. They just don't.
No.
So I'm not stressed about it.
If you put yourself in a position when you need that many impact grenades, you're not playing very well.
Yeah, that's it. You have a weird plan. Just don't have that plan. All right, excellent. So that is excellent. Swap over.
Entrance costs.
Now you did say before that it was looking kind of nice. And
It was, but we'll expand on this. Why? What is good about the entrance costs and how much? 800 points.
Yep.
Do you think we'll go up to 1,000?
Maybe. I mean, they did it with Armada, so I dare say they will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 800 points. How much is that going to cost me right now?
Yep. So I did a bit of maths on one of our pictures that we saw on the Facebook group recently. And if you buy one of every single expansion and the core set, you will essentially, for each side, get exactly 800 to 850 points.
Oh, really?
How you get them out.
Cool.
But I mean, I think the best way to do it is that you get a mate. You buy 2 core sets, so that's $260. So it's only at $130 each.
Yeah.
You each then buy 1 ATSD and 1 snow speeder, and there's your 800 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
So that's like 180 to $200 each to have a fully tournament-ready playable army.
For your faction.
For your faction,
Yeah.
correct. You won't have both factions, but you'll have your one faction, and you can only play one at a time anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So $200 to have a tournament-ready army is insane.
And that's new.
Yeah,
That's new.
it's
Like
brand new. That's retail.
Yeah. Like normally you pay that second hand for Warhammer.
Yeah, and I mean, that's only going to get you so much, and it's not going to be competitive. So, no, the entrance cost for this game is better than really any other tabletop game.
Yeah.
Even card games don't come at that kind of cost. Like Destiny, for $200, you're getting one box. Like, that's not going to get you there. So, it's just super affordable.
Yeah, I personally like them. I like the sculpts and how big they are. And I was like, $40 for 7 models. That's actually really good.
It's actually pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you get like pre-order specials, I mean, that goes down to 35 Australian.
Yeah.
So just really affordable.
Yeah.
35 for a Games Workshop miniature doesn't get you a special character.
Yeah.
They're like $70 for one dude. So there you go. So if you're into tabletop games, definitely the price will look amazing. If you've never played before, I think it's still going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
You're seeing board games come out that are about $200 at the moment, like Gloomhaven that came out recently. Rising Sun that I got my hands on, I paid about probably $180 for that. So
150 right here.
yeah, that's it. So no, I think it's super affordable. Where you might see a little more expenditure is in your hobby kit.
Yes, that's a good point. If you wanted to, when you start painting miniatures, it's better paint miniatures.
Definitely, painting is for closest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That does set you back a little bit.
Yeah, so depending on what paints you buy, if you've already got them sitting around like I do, great. But most people, I think, getting into this won't, because they won't have done a real hobby war game before.
No.
So they're going to have to go and buy some paints. So look, that's another $100 there probably to get the proper hobby stuff. But look, once again, if you go on with some mates, have some painting days together, pool your resources.
If you don't look directly at Citadel paints, which is what most people go to, I think there's Flames of War paint.
Army Painter?
Often Army Painter and the Bones Reaper miniatures paints, they often come in packs of about 40 different paints for about $150, and that's pretty good.
Yep.
And their paints are pretty good.
Yeah.
For the cost, absolutely good.
Yeah. They'll do fine. And you'll see a lot of painting tutorials at the moment aren't using Citadel paints. I know Serasto,
Yeah.
he does. And I
He
do
uses
ceramic.
some. Lately,
He mixes it up.
Yeah, lately he's certainly been moving into more Vallejo paints, and Vallejo paints are better. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just use Citadel like a chump because I know the colours.
Well, yeah,
I'm trapped in their ecosystem.
I'm stuck in Citadel exactly the same as you, because all my miniatures game shops near me, they only stock Citadel because Warhammer 40K's everywhere.
Correct, and no one plays anything else until now, where they'll play Legion, and it will rival it. Very good.